This is Beijing, the capital of China. This is New York, the largest city in America. This is Karachi, the financial capital of Pakistan, and this is Mumbai, the economic capital of India. The future of all these cities and all the people who live in them will soon be decided by only one country, and its name is Morocco, located in North Africa, the fourth largest Arab country in the world, which controls the future of the whole world. But what is it that has given Morocco this unique advantage, and why the rest of the world want Morocco? The eyes of the superpowers are currently on Morocco. You will all know this facts in this video. This is the bat, an animal that has become a symbol of fear for humans for the past few years. Whether it is the coronavirus in 2020 or if Spanish flu in the early 20th century, bats are considered only as an animal that spreads diseases. But few people know that the human population has quadrupled in the last 100 years because of this bat. In 1802, the European explorer Alexander Boone was passing through the country of Peru in South America, and he saw a very surprising thing. The Peru are not at all suitable for agriculture, but there was lush green grass and waving fields. When Alexander asked the people how they increased the agriculture, he found out that they put the excrement of bats and some seabirds on their fields, which Alexander brought this knowledge to the Western world, and then using it as a fertilizer, Western countries began to increase their agricultural production. In 1913, Fitz discovered a method of artificially producing the same fertilizer, which led to human population growth in just 100 years. From 1912 to 2012, the population of the whole world increased from 1.5 billion to 7.5 billion. Everything was going well, but then in 2010, the scientists discovered a very dangerous thing: the two compounds used in this fertilizer, potassium and phosphate, which is also called potash in combined form, is going to end very fast from our land. Now the reserves of potassium are probably in our land for the next 100 years, but on the other hand, the reserves of phosphate may be left only for the next 50 years. And the second biggest problem is that we cannot create phosphate artificially. That's why many countries have started implementing strict policies to conserve phosphate reserves, and as a result, phosphate prices will fall between 2020 and 2021. Has increased by 80%. In September 2021, China completely banned the export of its phosphate reserves so that it can make enough fertilizers for its population, so that there is not only a food shortage. Now, the interesting point here is that China has the second largest phosphate reserves in the world, but they make up only 5% of the world's reserves. Countries in the world have only 1 to 2% of phosphate research, but there is one country that has 70% of phosphate reserves, and that is Morocco. There is a monopoly of a resource on which the future and survival of humans all over the world depends on which country's people harvest their crops. This decision will be made by Morocco. Here comes the dangerous point, which we have mentioned in many of our previous videos. Whenever the survival or future of us humans is dependent on something, as a result, wars become unavoidable now, as our future is artificial intelligence. All the superpowers are focused on exploring lithium, the metal that powers this AI, and how this discovery could lead to a world war. More blood than ever has been shed to obtain the food, fruit supply, unfortunately, and our world is now, it has come to the point that there is going to be a severe shortage of food very soon, and powerful countries will go to any lengths to alleviate this shortage, which will soon put the Moro in a very powerful position in international geopolitics. This is because we see something like this historically. If we go back 1.5 years, in the 19th and 20th centuries, all the oil production was in the hands of the United States, and that is what made it a superpower. There were more metal reserves, and on the basis of this he ruled the whole world, and Morocco has reserves of resources on which the survival of the entire human race is dependent. Morocco is going to get it, but what will be its applications or side effects, only time will tell, we hope.